At the weekend, the small community of Lusikisiki in the Eastern Cape was shattered by unimaginable tragedy following the mass murder of 18 people. Among them was 20-year-old Ruth King, a beloved mother, daughter, sibling, aunt, and a cherished breadwinner whose life was cut short in a moment of violence. Ruth was gunned down at a relative's home during a ceremony to mark what should have been a day of remembrance and healing, the end of a one-year mourning period for another loved one who was also brutally taken from them a year prior. Newzroom Afrika's Sipha Kema joins us live now from the homestead. Sipha, good morning. We started our conversation with you earlier with a walk through the homestead and this huge loss and sense of, the aftermath of this terrible tragedy. And you've continued to share different perspectives with us on the story this morning.
Absolutely, Iman. I mean, right now we are at Ruth's home. And unfortunately, for safety concerns, we're not going to show you the surroundings or the actual house as well. Because if you do remember that when we had first started, when this news broke out, there were believed to be no survivors. But actually, there were survivors from that massacre that happened in that homestead. And Ruth's mother is one of those survivors. We spoke to her earlier on. We had a conversation where she was telling us exactly what happened. And also, we can't speak to her because of, one, her safety, but the other part is she's still traumatized by what happened. I mean, you could just imagine, Iman, as a mother, hearing your child in the next bedroom calling for you as you hear shots ripping through her. And she did tell us, though, is that they did not sound like your ordinary guns, like a handgun. It sounded more like a rifle because of the speed of the bullets and the speed of the shots that went through. But how she told us what had happened was they were sleeping in the main house, which is the house we showed you with the broken window. And she says that her bedroom that they were in with two other family members was the first bedroom, but for some reason the gunman walked past that bedroom and started actually with the bottom bedroom where the parents of the 2-month-old baby were sleeping, including, of course, the mother of the house, the owner of the house, where she was also sleeping. That's when she said she heard them. She heard the shots, the first shots, but also those shots were ringing simultaneously with the other house that we showed you where there was a padlock, the new padlock where there was blood on the veranda. She says those shots were ringing simultaneously, and she says it sounded as though it was planned that they would start shooting at the same time. Now, she also says that then that's when they moved on to the next bedroom, which was the middle bedroom, where her daughter and all the other younger people were, sleeping. And she says that it seemed as though they were standing up, judging from where the bullets hit, it's that they were actually standing up. And she says that that's when she heard her daughter crying for her. And helplessly, she could not do anything. She said she got up, but she stopped herself as she got close to the door. She also remembered that she was not dressed to actually get out of the bedroom. And then that's when her and the other two family members then decided to actually find a way to hide themselves. She says that she prayed out loud. She said that she heard and she said, God, I can hear that she's no more. At least save my life then. And that's how she survived. She says by a miracle. And that's what she calls it, a miracle, where the gunman actually then walked past and didn't even open the door of the bedroom that she was in. She says then that's when how they slept was on top of each other, packed on top of each other, hiding just over the bed so that they could hide from the gunmen, but they didn't even bother coming inside, Iman. And she says that's where they stayed put, hearing the 2-month-old crying from 2 a.m. up until 5 a.m. where the police then arrived. She says even the police did not know that they were in that room. Even the police did not go into that room until she started shouting. But it seems as though there was another survivor, not the one that had passed away yesterday, but another man who had actually also went into hiding in the bedroom. They did not go into that bedroom because when the gunmen arrived, he had switched off the lights of that bedroom. He was already sleeping. Just hearing her saying this and relaying the story, Iman, you know, it just takes you through everything. But now we're going to bring in Ruth's uncle, Mr. David King, and just to talk about that. Mr. King, firstly, sorry for your loss, condolences. Let's first talk about Ruth, because that's what's important here. You know, Ruth was eagerly waiting to celebrate her 21st birthday in December, and her life has been tragically cut short.
Yes, it's a very sad situation for us because we were looking forward to celebrating her 21st birthday, and you'd remember this was going to be sort of some consolation to us to celebrate her birthday because she had just recently lost her brother in April. So actually it was more of trying to forget the bad things that have just recently happened, not knowing that today we'll be talking about Ruth, who's no more anymore.
Yeah. And also looking forward to, I mean, she had her future as well planned out, going back to school. She was expecting to go back to Tevitt College next year.
Yes, there was that plan in place that she goes back to school because she loved education and she had hopes, and she kept on saying to her mom, when I do work, I'll make your life much better than it is currently is. And all those dreams are shattered and they are gone. It's something of the past now. They are no more. She was a friend to her mother because you'd remember they're the only two ladies in this house. So her mother is devastated. The father is just as well. The siblings, the two brothers that are left, the three brothers that are left behind, you know, it's so traumatizing for them. They don't understand why would their sister, their daughter, why would our niece die in this nature, die like a criminal? Because, you know, when we went to view the body, sure, it was traumatizing on its own. You could see that is not a 9mm gun shot. It's a rifle, and all the deceased injuries were on their head, so that they meant to kill them. They didn't want any survivors in that incident.
Really tragic. Thank you so much, Mr. King, for talking to us. I know you have to rush off now. Iman, Mr. King is rushing off now to go to the forensics. And I mean, quite a tragedy, a life cut short, 20 years old, looking forward to celebrate her 21st birthday, but also very close to her mom. And you could just imagine her mother, the trauma that she's left with now, you know, those last moments of her daughter crying for her, Iman, that is truly traumatic. And we can tell she's not okay. But she's not the only survivor. There's other two women who are also part of the family. Now, how they related to that family is that Ruth's uncle is actually the father's brother, but the mother, that's her home, that's her family. She was cousins. She's cousins with the mother of the homestead where this incident occurred, and they were assisting with preparations before they could go to that village, Emantlaneni, for that ceremony together as a family. And as Mr. King said, that they are close with the mother, so Ruth went to assist her mother, and they ended up sleeping there because they were up all night. The mother says they were up all night with preparations, helping with preparations, and they were only going to bed at 2 a.m. They were not sleeping at that time, though. Some of them were having conversations, and then this is what happened.
Sure. Sipha, also really difficult just hearing from the uncle there. What a tragedy. We know that this was on the anniversary of murders, a series of murders that had happened the year prior. This marked the end of the mourning period, which is why the family and the extended family had congregated at the homestead. And I think a really important question, Sipha, is where are police investigations on that initial series of murders, and are they any closer to identifying a motive? We know manhunt is underway and profiling potential suspects.
Well, the police commissioner yesterday did say that they have leads, but they did not divulge any other information other than that they do have a lead at this point, but not giving away any key information. But also to add on to that, Iman, we do believe that the MEC of Community Safety in the Eastern Cape, Xolile Nqatha, is expected actually to visit the family today. So those are the questions that we're also going to ask him regarding the investigation. But not only that, hearing what also Ruth's uncle, Mr. King, was saying that, and hearing what the mother saying that these were rifles, these were not handguns, these were rifles. I mean, just taking it back now, 2022, we saw the same thing happening in Nqeleni. A family was wiped out. The entire family was wiped out, including children of that family. Also, assault rifles were used in those murders. And then you take it back again in Tolo, assault rifles as well, wiped out a family as well in that homestead. So these are reoccurring things that are happening in these villages. It's not just an isolated incident, and obviously all of them differ. The motives differ as to why exactly it's happening. But the issue here is, how do ordinary South Africans gain access to such weapons, automatic rifles? And, that's the issue. I mean, just yesterday, the police said that just here in Lusikisiki on the R61, they actually arrested 4 men coming from KZN. They were stopped by the police officers. When the police officers heard their accents and asked them where they're from, they said they're from KZN. When they were asked what they were doing in the Eastern Cape, they couldn't answer. That's when the police then asked to search their vehicles, where they found guns inside those vehicles. 9mm pistols was there, as well as automatic rifles were also found in that car, and they're due to actually appear in court. So those are the issues that are facing these communities and these rural villages.
Sipha, Kema, thank you very much for that update. Very hard to hear some of the details there, quite graphic. A family almost entirely wiped out, with those survivors and other remaining extended members having to deal with the emotional aftermath. We'll bring you more on that later.